Okay, Chelsea 3, Napoli 2. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Dead food. Yeah, dead food. Listen, that whole 90 minutes today, I was starving, man. I was starving. It was dead food. Like, he was dead. Listen, I looked at Napoli's, obviously, starting lineup. Actually, no, even before the starting lineup, we knew coming into this game that Napoli were facing so many, crucial injuries. So I looked at their lineup today and I was thinking, this should be easy, man. We should be cruising, we should be eating, we should be celebrating. It was just supposed to be a nice, smooth ride without taking the fact that obviously you're playing one of the great managers in the world, or in my opinion, in Antonio Conte. So the disrespect was not that much. But I'm thinking, with the lineup that they put up today, it was not going to be as hard as we made it to be. Like, they are literally just gave us like an easy match, and then we just decided to complicate things ourselves. So that first half for me, even the second half, like the whole game was just dead. Was dead. Obviously, we had some good goals in João Pedro, but the game was dead. So I'm looking at the lineup today. I'm seeing Rhys James in the lineup, Malo Gusto in the lineup. Now, usually when we get Rhys James and Malo Gusto in the lineup, one will be playing a midfield and one will be playing a right back. But today, all the midfielders were there. Enzo was there, Caicedo was there, Audrey Santos was there. You got João Pedro in there, Neto Estevao. So I'm thinking, okay, one of them has to play a centre back. So I was waiting until the match started. Then I realized Rhys James is playing as a centre back. Now, this is the thing. I don't mind having Rhys James playing as a centre back if we have to close out the game. But for him to start as a centre back, it's a concern for me. I don't like it. Listen, I know I've come on here and I said you can give Rhys James the gloves and he can play as a goalkeeper. That's just an expression from me on how Rhys James is so much of a good player and how I trust him in every way. But in today's game, I didn't. Okay, maybe um, Liam was expecting Napoli to sit, which obviously they did in majority of the game. But even then, we were making mistakes at the back, and I'm thinking we need a real centre back. Now, I don't really rate my centre backs, but they are centre backs. I was like, where is Chalaba? Where is at least Badia Shile? Obviously, Fofana was there. We had one centre back in our back line. Of course, I know that having Rhys James there as a centre back, he was always going to drift to the right side as like a right back, and then Malo Gusto probably overlap or invert whatever it is, to have more bodies up front. I get that. But at least put a centre back there that can drift to the right back, not a right back that can, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they were coming through the middle, and having or not having a centre back in there caused up some problems. So many times Fofana was left alone, and listen, he did well, Rhys James. I'm not trying to. This is not on Rhys James. This is on the coach to say why did we have to complicate football today. Listen, part of my reasons for not caring that Maresca got fired or sacked was the fact that I thought he was the kind of guy that used to complicate football so much. I mean, we had it in Pochettino playing, Benchio as a left wing. And then we had it in Maresca playing, Gusto as a 10. We had it in, now we're having it in Liam Rosinha as well. What are we doing? Like, I never like when coaches try to complicate football. I just want players to play in their respectful position and we can just play football. Now, the first half, again, it's not all on the lineup. It was just the whole team. Our attack today was dead. Like, it's not a surprise to me that we have a dead attack. I know that Pedro Neto, he's a counter-attack killer. He's an attacking killer player. I know that Garnacho, rubbish, dead food. I know Gittens, again, rubbish, dead food. The only attacker for me that I can say is of not even Chelsea's sort of like quality, but like a good player. He has to be Estevao and maybe Cole Palmer, but at the same time, this season he's been injured the majority of it. So I know our attack is dead, but at the same time today, it was just bad. Like, it was bad, 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 bad. We couldn't make a simple pass, keep dispossessing short passes, dispossessing the ball into the midfield. Backline, I don't know what we were doing. We're very slow in position. Usually, when we are in position, we are much faster with the ball. Hit teams in transition, hit teams in, with through the lines, and Today we looked so lethargic, so slow. So our players today, I don't even want to lie to you. Me as a fan, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the game, I'm trying to think what system are we using, what formation are we using. I was confused. And I'm looking at my players, they looked confused today. Cucurella didn't know what he was supposed to do. Malo Gusto didn't know what he was supposed to do. Rhys James, on the other hand, he didn't know what to do. We looked so confused. We didn't know what to do. Why do we have to do this all the time? Sometimes football is very simple. Not just sometimes, actually, sometimes. This is how my head is fried watching that game. I can't speak. I can't speak. But what I meant to say is football is a very simple game. Why do we then have to complicate it with all these new managers? You look at Ateta, you look at Rosinho, you look at even Pep Guardiola, always wants to complicate football. Just let players play football. All these systems and tactics and let players play football. And today, it showed. Our player was so confused. But one thing that I have to give Liam Rosinho, though, even though we had a dead first half, and you can say the same thing about the second half, but what I did like today from my coach is how proactive he was. You saw that first half was dead. Neto wasn't playing really well. He took Neto out, bring on Cole Palmer. The game didn't really change at that point up until like maybe the 60, 70 minutes. That's when maybe we started looking like we actually wanted to win the game. Because today it was either we draw, lose, and not qualify for the automatic round of 16. So we needed to win this game. It was a must. And for both teams, Napoli needed to win. Draw was never going to help either team. We needed to win today. Because those two extra playoff games, they're just wasting of time and energy of the players that they could have used to rest and waiting for the fucking round of 16. So I have to give credit to Liam Rosinho for the fact that he was so proactive today. I think today we used almost about 4 systems today. If something wasn't working, he was changing it. Something wasn't working, he was changing it. And that's what I have to give credit to him. And I have to give credit as well to players like João Pedro. I thought today he played by himself. That attack today was dead. Estevao, listen, I love the kid, but the system we're using today wasn't really helping him. So we didn't really do much. Neto, listen, this guy, I think, anyway, we'll come back to Neto in a second. Let me just give my credit to the people that I was giving credit to. So João Pedro, Liam Rosinho, I have to give them credit because the substitute he was making and the changing of the shape of the game and the changing of system formation, to me, that's what I want to see from a coach, especially the fact that he changed it in about 50-something minutes. That's good. Why do we have to wait? We call this with Maresca. Sometimes he used to wait until like the 75th minutes, and then he would make a substitute or change the formation. Liam Rosinho today, the match was dead. I'm never going to not talk about that. I have to call it out. But in the same bracket as well, when he realized his mistakes, he changed it or he tried something new. And this is what actually the only positive I can take from this game today, or in the fact that we actually won the match. So those substitutes, he made the shape he was changing, taking off the likes of Odro Santos, the defensive midfielders actually playing attackers. And when he needed to put a defender to actually close the game, he was not scared to take the one that he substituted in Jamie Gittens and actually put a defender in Badiashile, because at that point on, all we needed to do was to close the game, and I did like that. Even though we got away with that Lukaku shot, credit to Sanchez. I thought he played well again today. There's nothing you could have done for those goals. Maybe the first one you could have done something different. I don't know. But the bottom line is he also saved that from so many chances we could have conceded. So my credit is going to go to Liam Rosinho for him being a proactive coach. Now, let's talk about some of the concerns in the game. Because you look at players like Pedro Neto. Listen, it's no surprise what I'm seeing, because it's been happening even when Maresca was there. This guy is the opposite of what you need in a player when you're actually trying to hit teams in transition. Is the opposite of a player when you actually want to do counter-attacks, because the way he breaks the attacks is actually ridiculous. Pedro Neto, I love the guy. I think he is talented. I think he can give us more than what he's giving us now. But the past few games, he has not been cutting it. I'm sorry, but the way he's been breaking our attacks is actually crazy. And then we go to players like Cole Palmer. Obviously, he's coming from an injury. Now, he made a really good pass to João Pedro for his goal, which he took well, by the way. But apart from that, Cole Palmer today, he dispossesses so many passes. He just couldn't press. He was tripping over himself. Listen, I will give him the benefit of the doubt because he's coming from an injury, so I'm not gonna expect the full Cole Palmer that we know. But god damn, that match today, man, was bad. Like literally, like was bad. But hey, credit to us, we've moved to the next stage of the round of 16. So hopefully we get a decent team because I'm actually looking forward to this Champions League run. Because do I think we're gonna win it? I mean, we've won it twice without even playing well in those seasons. You know, remember the Di Matteo season and remember the Thomas Tuchel. We didn't actually play it well, but we ended up winning it. Now with Liam Rosinho, I don't know, but we won it with Di Matteo without him being an experienced coach. So who says we can't win it now with Liam Rosinho? You know. So yeah, I'm just happy that we're gonna proceed to the next obviously round of 16. But the match today, listen, if I weren't a fan, I wouldn't have watched that match in the second half. I only watched that game 90 minutes because I'm actually a Chelsea fan. But if I weren't a Chelsea fan, I was not gonna finish that game. It felt like I was watching Arsenal play. At least Arsenal, you know, when they play like shit, they end up winning the games. It didn't feel like we were gonna win the game today. But anyway, we ended up winning the game. So make sure you just, make sure you subscribe to the channel, people. That's the only positive we can do today. But otherwise, our head, I'm sure yours is fried as, as much as mine. But yeah, it is what it is, people. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Peace.